Hello and welcome to another MCO market update on ADA. Yeah, here on the ADA chart, no surprises, no changes at the moment. We are still dealing with a potential corrective pullback here on this chart that started after this A wave formed the top on the 12th of May. So that's all good. You know, we're dealing with this corrective pullback, which could set the stage for a C wave rally. The C wave should be a 5-wave move overall and should take us towards 94 cents plus, but only if we see any impulsive reaction, any convincing reaction that sends the price above a previous high from this region. Okay, so we want the price to react. We want to see the price react to support before it breaks below 68.6 cents, because this is the 78.6 retracement of the last rally. And yeah, a breach below that level would be, let's say, it would open the door to a more bearish interpretation. Then we can think about, okay, what is it? Are we already in the E wave, which then technically has room all the way down to 51 cents? So if we break below 68.6, which can absolutely happen, but obviously we are still holding support, then the focus will shift first to this previous swing low formed on the 6th of May. That's at 64.3 cents. And yeah, then obviously below that level, it opens the door to potentially a dip to 51 cents. But that would be the next key level. It doesn't mean we have to test that level. There were previous swing lows and potential support in the area around 61 cents and 60 cents. But for now, you know, there's no reason to change any interpretation. The pullback is nice and corrective, overlapping. While there is no sign of a low, really, we have reached a key spot. Yesterday, I shared with you in the video that I'm watching for a reaction to this 61.8 retracement, because it could have marked the low of that internal third wave here. That is wave 3 of C to the downside. And yeah, there was a reaction. It was also the lower boundary line of the trend channel. So a small cluster of support. So some of you might have used that in a signal or cluster of support to get positioned, but again, it was not meant to be a proper reversal yet. It could be. I mean, we're in the zone. I always encourage people to use the zones more than the microstructures, because they shift easily. The zones are really what matters. The levels. Okay, how long can we keep a scenario alive? And as long as we're holding here the 68.6 cent level, that white scenario remains intact. Okay, so that means corrective pullback, which could then set the stage for another rally in the C wave. So for now, the move down doesn't look entirely complete. I'm still watching at least for one more low. I mean, or let's say I cannot rule it out, even though we have reached important support here. So I think the chart is prepared. Just the entire market sector needs to show something. We do have an initial ABC structure to the downside, but yeah, as I said, I think one or two more downside squiggles are likely. But yeah, this is the zone. Can't say it more clearly. Only below that level we will shift interpretation to a more substantial correction. We're still holding in this price channel, which is not very well defined, but we have enough touch points to make it kind of relevant. And then should the market show some upside momentum, the next focus will shift to this resistance area here between 78.3 cents and 84.5. Market could then still turn down from there. So this would be a zone to watch. And any break above 84.5 cents will start to shift the focus towards that 94 cent level, which is still the relevant, or this is where the target zone starts for wave Y of the D wave of this triangle we're tracking, right? Talked about that yesterday in more detail, this triangle pattern, which means, yeah, focus hasn't shifted, but we are dealing with an overall structure. Context is very important. Make sure that you also understand our long-term chart. Context is very important. We're dealing with a structure. Well, since January, we've been in a range, a sideways range, back-to-back corrective price action. And that means the market hasn't really made a decision yet. And within this range, we're trying to get a really good idea of the microstructures and key levels, but really only very fragile structures, unfortunately, because we haven't seen any upside impulse. Well, this was one. from the 6th of May low, which is why we are looking at this support area right now. So yeah, that should give you all the clarity for all the levels that are relevant and the structures. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.